Once we became profitable and the business was like this,
I was working a ton of hours.
now we want to tell you the beginning of Skinphorea. Where did the name Skinphorea come from? From my kids and my husband and my friend Jamaica. I have wrote out a list of all these different names. And Skinphorea was on that list because I was thinking euphoria, like you're in this different place and you have this different feeling when you're off in this area. And I have put skin in front of it, and it was with a list of 10 other names. And I asked my kids what was their favorite. They picked Skinphorea. My husband picked Skinphorea. And then I sent out a mass text message, and my friend Jamaica said Skinphorea. And that's where the name came from. Did I have a love for skincare? No, I didn't. I loved the spa industry. I was a spa person. For holidays, birthday parties, gatherings with my girlfriends, I was always at the spa. I didn't fall in love with skin until I went to aesthetic school. I went to aesthetic school because I thought I should learn about aesthetics and the industry, and it would help me to be a better business owner. And that is when I fell in love with skin. How was it quitting my job? I had in my head, I'm gonna wait until I am this age, I'm gonna have this much saved in my bank account, this much in 401k, and I'm gonna do this. No, I was at my desk and God said, it is time. And that was around the time where I was fasting and praying all day, every day, like, okay, I'm gonna wait this amount of time. And he said the time was now. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready now. I don't have enough saved or anything like that. I was ready to take that chance, but I couldn't just stay and do what I was doing. Did I work in the industry before starting? Definitely. You know, you hear so many people say, I quit my job and I just went ahead and started my business. No way. When I did quit my job, I had a plan. I knew what job I was going to work at, where, how long I was going to be at each job, what I was going to learn at each job, and the time frame. If I was going to invest so much money, time, and effort in building a company, I need to work under somebody first. I worked as a manager at spas. I worked as an esthetician. I also did aesthetics and did clients at my home. So I would be upstairs in the bedroom, in the extra bedroom I had, while my kids are downstairs just yelling, and I'm yelling at them to be quiet while I'm doing facials. And I remember having this small room with my cell phone and one bed and a few towels and a few sheets, and it was no ambiance there. And I put this purple scarf over this lamp, this scarf my friend Lisa gave me, to create this glow. And that's where I did all my facials. And I treated everything and everybody and did the consultations like it was this big spa. But I worked in the industry for years before I even stepped foot or did anything with Skinphorea. It was scary, but not scary enough where it held me back. I knew I was gonna win no matter what. You know, even when people doubted me, even my husband doubted some of the things, I'm like, no, this will work out. I will not stop until this works. I think it's just in me. You know, when people say they got goals or dreams or aspirations or they wanna do something, it's just how bad do you want it? And when you want something so bad, you will do any and everything to get there. And I felt like there was no failure. There was no plan B. I didn't have a plan B because I was gonna win. And if something wasn't working out, I wasn't doing something right. Like, no, if I plan it and see why everybody else is failing and why everything else is going wrong for other people and conquer that stuff, I'll be able to do it. So how did Sharice get involved? It's funny because Sharice and I were already friends. We grew up together. She was in my wedding. We're very close friends, but I just knew I needed a business partner. And in my head, I was thinking I need to go into business with another esthetician or a massage therapist. But one day I was at Sharice's house and we were talking about purpose in life and being fulfilled. And she's at this job and she's doing well, but she wanted to be able to have a business or invest. And we're like, wait, you should have properties or do some type of business. And we were sitting there trying to brainstorm what kind of business she could do. And I went home that night and I said to my husband, hey, what do you think about Sharice as my partner? She would bring something to the table and things that I can't do, she's great at. And she doesn't take stuff personal. We can bump heads and at the end of the day, we're good. And he's like, I think that's a great idea. So I went to her house And I said, Sharice, I just want you to think about this. You don't gotta, you don't gotta say yes. I want you to go home and pray about it and wait for the Lord to tell you what to do. But I'm opening Skinphorea, and these are the photos, and this is the layout, and I would be interested if you would be my business partner. And she looked it over, and I was like, don't say anything now. Like I said, you got to pray about it. She's like, no, let's do it. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, no, I'm ready. Let's do it. And I'm like, no, you didn't hear from the Lord yet. We got to wait and make sure this is right, because this is a big step. And she's like, no, I'm ready. That night, we sat there planning everything with Skinphorea. I think I would have bumped heads if I brought another esthetician on or another massage therapist, because we're trying to do the same thing. But like I said, you always got to get somebody that compliments you, who is great at something that you're not great at. And I feel like we're a perfect team. And I feel like even though we can bump heads and go through stuff, at the end of the day, we can go out and still have a drink or do whatever and not take it personal. So I knew. Yeah.
Well, Jessie, when she reached out to me to come aboard, it was something that I always knew was a passion of hers. Like I've heard her talk about it before in conversations that, her biggest goal and her passion in life is to open and run her own spa, which I always thought was just super inspiring. I was busy working finance, well, really in banking, living that banker lifestyle, working an ungodly amount of hours. I mentioned to her that, now that I'm working and I'm in finance and banking, I'm all about now seizing opportunities for, investments. And like, that's the next chapter of my life. Like, I don't see myself, working 10, 12, 14-hour days every single day. So I wanted to do something where it would give me creative freedom and just an outlet to, if not necessarily make my own dreams come to life, like investing into someone else's or into something else to just make their dreams come true. So we, talked casually, and then maybe a month after I mentioned that to her, she came to me and had a super heartfelt ask to become her business partner. She said that she talked to her husband about it. She prayed about it. They prayed about it. She said her husband, gave his thumbs up and thought it, there was no other choice. So just hearing how much they thought about me to include me into her vision, her plan, there's no way I could have said no. I was working a ton of hours in a male-dominated world, which is very fun, but very demanding. You have to have very, very thick skin. It requires a lot of pushing yourself to limits that I didn't even know really existed. It allowed me to come from this really quiet, I'm Sharice, to okay, look, I'm Sharice, I'm here, this is what I can do, this is what I can handle, this is what I have to offer. So it allowed me to really come out of my shell. It allowed me to become just more powerful, or just to understand what it is that I have to offer. I dominated in banking. I was the top banker for a very long time, for many years. It allowed me to just really find the power within myself that, I'm good at what I do. Yes, it was a very natural transition to go from, working as a banker to becoming your own boss, because when you're in the banking field and you're in finance, even though you're working under a company, you are pretty much your own entrepreneur.
Michigan Women's Foundation came in and talked about different types of funding and everything, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, you guys help with funding and you're looking at characters, but I'm good because I know I can get money, I can get a loan, my credit good, whatever. I went to every bank, every credit union, every place that I banked with. My credit was good. Denied. I swear I was denied about 19 times. And I just didn't understand. And everybody said, yeah, even though it's an SBA loan, well, you need to be in business for 2 years. And I'm like, well, it's a brand new business. So how am I supposed to be in business for 2 years and you don't give me any money? Everybody said no. So my credit started to take a hit because I ran out of my savings. I had pulled all the money out of my 401k. I didn't have anything. And I was like, let me call Michigan Women's Foundation. They came to Build Institute. And when I called them, mind you, I got denied 19 times. I called them, had them on the phone. I'm like, listen, you cannot say no to me. I had too many no's. This is what's going on. I need to get the money for funding for this spa. Whatever you do, don't tell me no. Just tell me what I need to do differently. And I went, put my packet in, and they called me and said, yep, you're approved. And they told me the amount, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? And then I thought about it, and I said, thank you. You didn't tell me no. I'm going to find a way to come up with the rest of the money. And the money was a large amount. I'm thinking another $50,000 or something crazy. And I said, you didn't say no to me. I'm going to find a way to come up with the money. When I say I sold every piece of jewelry I had, got rid of my car. My husband, I remember he had to sell his Rolex, and I still hear about that to this day. I worked extra jobs. I did everything, pulled out every credit card I could, maxed everything out. That was literally the day that our lifestyle changed, and it just went downhill from there. But I got the money. I got the money, and we were able to open Skinphorea. Yeah, that's the story with funding. Securing the location.
So you've got, the challenges of the build out.
Excuse me, but yeah, it was hell. It was, I always thought getting the money was gonna be the hard part. Getting the location was the worst experience I ever went through, that and the build out.
When you first go into entrepreneurship, you hear stories that things aren't gonna be super easy, and you kind of hear it, but you're like, I'm serious, I can handle this, it's not a big deal. And then the drama hits you.
People loved our business plan. They loved the idea. You got to turn in your tax forms, your financials. We would get approved, and then we would get denied when people see us.
The build out phase, and especially when you're a woman going through a build out phase, people don't always take us seriously.
When you are doing business deals with people that don't look like you, they don't understand. The broker contacts me like, okay, you guys are approved. The landlord is ready to see you. And this was in West Bloomfield, right on Orchard Lake, on Northwestern. And she said, the landlord wants to see you so he can know where the bathrooms and everything is going to go, and y'all can start construction. I'm like, bet, I'm on my way. And I remember getting up, getting my car going, which was a big mistake because I had on a hoodie. I already told you I turned in my vehicle, so I pulled up in a Fusion. I got a hoodie on. He didn't know I was young. He didn't know I was black. And I looked like I had no money. And we're done with everything. I get a call, and the broker's like, he said he doesn't think this is gonna be a good deal. He can't go through with it. And I'm like, what? I had to change my name. So I used a different name, which my husband got a lot of slack on because it was like, your wife is disrespecting you, not using your name. And it was like, I'm trying to close a deal in Royal Oak and West Bloomfield with people that don't look like me. I can't let them Google me. I need to get in the room. I need to get to them face to face, so when they feel my passion and they hear me talk, they would approve me. I had to go and get my car back. I had to make sure when I go and meet people, I'm dressed properly. So yeah, we did a lot and had to go through a lot just to get approved. And we made those changes and was able to secure Royal Oak.
Construction is a male-dominant industry, and when they see two women coming and saying, hey, we want to build this bar, we want to build this spa with this atmosphere, with these finishings, they kind of look at you like, dollar sign, and more importantly, I can take advantage or take my time or pretty much treat the situation however I want to. So there was definitely a lot of struggle in the very beginning going through that phase. Like our project that went from being a 4 to 6 week project went to more of like a 4 to 6 month project.
So imagine being here paying rent, paying insurance, paying all these bills, and not one dime is coming in. What we thought Skinphorea would look like, it wasn't finished. The day we opened with $0 in the bank account. I said, we have to open or I'm gonna go bankrupt. Like, we need to open today. Yeah, the build out nearly ruined us. Now I know the right questions to ask. I know I should have went and talked to other business owners and said, who did you work with? How was this company? There's a lot of things I would have changed, but yeah, that almost ruined us.
I think that in the beginning, you need those type of struggles. You need, a little bit of that grit to get you to where, again, you start to understand like what you need to do, what you don't need to do, how to fix things in the future, and then just going from there, like, knowing like this is what we experienced in the past, here's how we overcome this and kill it in the future. But yeah, the build out phase is rough. The grand opening was like a huge relief, and then also like an aha moment, because when you're in the grind, like in the beginning of entrepreneurship, and we started with just doing things online, and then we found this building, and then we won the lease, or got them to agree to our lease terms, and then we got the construction done, and then finally, after all of that, we made it to the grand opening. And because you're going through all of those different steps and different levels, you kind of get lost in just understanding that what you're doing is actually a really big thing. So it's like, you get caught up in the day-to-day grind, and this is what we're doing, this is what we're working on now, and then to just all of a sudden look up and like, wow, look at this beautiful place that we created, look at our vision, it's come to life, and like, damn, we did it. So the first year is definitely a make it or break it situation.
The first year of Skinphorea was hell.
So you've got it open, now what?
We were on every magazine, we were in the news, we were everywhere, and we were getting busy, but we weren't profitable.
And now what is the biggest or the most vaguest part of entrepreneurship, especially when you're new to things, because you really have to figure everything out, and you have to figure things out quickly.
We're bringing in clients, and I'm writing checks, me and Sheree's writing checks to everybody else, we get nothing. And I would have to do contract work because I was a financial and credit counselor, so I would go work part-time, get my paycheck, put it into the business bank account so I can pay the rent and pay the bills. So not only was I not home ever at all because I'm working 2 jobs trying to run this business and make sure everybody's paid, I didn't get paid anything. But everybody's looking at me all over TV and everything like, oh wow, I want that. I want what they have. So the first year, yeah, it was very stressful because we were booked and busy but not profitable.
And you also have to make adjustments like on the fly. You've got to be able to really understand, who you are as a business owner, what your product is, and then how are you going to market this to people so they'll understand the concept and want to buy your brand. But they don't necessarily teach you that. Like even with my background, I went to business school, you get the basics of everything, but until you actually do it, you really don't understand like how that all gels together, from taking it from paper to presenting it to actual consumers. So the first year, there's a lot of struggle. I laugh at people who get into business and think that they're gonna make $1 million on their first year. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying that 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna be the company to create that type of business structure within your first year of being open. It just isn't possible. And then understanding that, like being realistic and really looking at your goals, and just making sure that you're staying true to what your brand is will take you from where, you won't become one of those businesses that close year 1. Like you can make it through the make it or break it year 1, and then go on to year 2, and then 3, and then, now you're hitting profit year after year after year. You've got, a proven business model. So the research and planning phase of running and operating a business never stops. And it shouldn't stop. You should always be planning, researching, finding ways to make your brand better. After our first year of being in business and just kind of going through that first year struggle and keeping things afloat, making sure that our employees are paid, the rent's paid, the lights stay on, you then realize that you've got a good grasp on what you're doing, but to take you from this level to this level, you're going to need to employ other people that can take some of that burden off of you. Meaning, like, if my background is in business and finance, and Jessica's is more in business and beauty, and we merge together, none of us are true experts at running a spa. Like, we know how, we know what it takes, and we've seen it done, but just understanding like every internal bit and piece we needed to let another person come on and just show us what we're overlooking, what we're missing, what opportunities are out there. And it took us from where we're running at kind of like this pace, and things were slowly trickling up to where it's like exponential growth year after year after year. Like our numbers just keep climbing. So realizing that, you have to continue to reinvest back into your business if you want to see your business flourish.
Oh yeah. Once we became profitable and the business was like this, I was like, oh, it's on. You couldn't limit me to one thing. You couldn't limit me to a certain revenue. You couldn't limit me to a certain paycheck. I think so big it's scary, to where I can't sit at the table and just talk to anybody, because you're not about to block what I'm thinking and where I think I can go. Like if I sit and have a conversation with somebody, they'll think like, what's wrong with her? Because I think so big. So yeah, when we became profitable, I'm like, oh, it's on. I'm about to take this to the next level, because I got the keys. I know what it takes to take it to the next level.
So the next chapter of Skinphorea is definitely expansion. We've built a business model within the confines of our space here in Royal Oak to where we're consistently booked and busy, as everyone likes to scream on Instagram. So knowing that we're in a position to where we have kind of met our limits here, the goal is definitely to expand into other locations, whether it be, more in Michigan, and maybe even, franchising and taking things out of state.